Well, welcome to the video today, guys. Hope you're doing really well. In this video, we're going to look at how to sell on Amazon in 2020, step by step for beginners. I'm going to be explaining to you in detail this real opportunity to build a real business in 2020 by leveraging the world's largest online retailer, Amazon. But here's the thing, this is actually going to be quite different to other step-by-step videos you might have seen. It's not simply about selling on Amazon, because simply picking a product and throwing it up on Amazon and making some easy money, those days are over. But the good news is for people like you and me that are willing to work hard, build a real business that can really change their lives, this opportunity is only just getting started. And to accompany this training, which I've called the Brand Builder Bootcamp, I've actually created for you a complete guide. It's just massively in depth. You can download this right now for free. I'm not even going to make you pay for shipping. You can have it right now, download it onto your computer, print it out, take notes, keep it on your tablet. There's little note sections on a lot of the pages that sort of allow you to take notes as you're watching the video. So I'd highly recommend downloading that right now, along with a whole startup bundle of resources that are going to help you get started in this business. You can pick those up for free right now in the first link in the description below. So check that out. A key part of the training is a case study, product case study that I'm going to walk you through on these products here. Look very similar, actually two different brands selling a very similar product. We're going to look at why that is and how that works. This one here, this product here, does around £50,000 per month in revenue on the UK marketplace alone. This one here has come along in the last 12 months, launched this product, and they're doing around £5,000 to £6,000 per month on the UK marketplace alone. So we're going to look at how this one has come and taken some of the revenue. We're going to look at why they're different, why this one's making more, a whole bunch of other things, and I'm going to show you step by step how you can actually develop a product like this. We're going to be discussing how to build a brand you own and build a life you love. But here's the thing, right? This isn't going to be the kind of video where I talk about myself, how beautiful my dog is for 30 minutes. I want to honor your time. We're going to jump straight into this and get stuck into what this opportunity is and how to make the most of it. I really do hope it helps you. And if you do have any questions at all, please feel free to put them in the comment section down below, and I'll personally be answering your questions. All right, with all that said, we are ready to begin. Brand Builder Bootcamp, here we come. Let's go. Well, hey, and welcome to the Brand Builder Bootcamp, where I'm going to show you how to build a brand you own, a business that works for you around the clock, wherever you are in the world. As long as you have an internet connection, you can run this business. In this training, I'm going to show you my 4-step process that you can easily follow to produce an income-generating business by leveraging the world's largest online retailer, Amazon. I showed Andrew the exact same steps I'm going to show you today, and with no previous experience, he now owns a brand generating over 5 figures per month and was able to leave his 9-to-5 job behind. And with these same strategies, I'm going to teach you how to build a business that you own, that generates income for you, that allows you to live life on your terms. Even if you have no previous experience or expertise, you can build a business that impacts the world and creates freedom in your life. You see, I believe as society, we've got things a little bit backwards. A large proportion of society are trading so much time simply for money, in a job they don't enjoy, that they don't feel is making an impact, simply to be able to earn enough to pay the bills, come back tomorrow and do it all again. I know those frustrations because I've been there too. At the age of 18, I started my career as a real estate agent. I sold property and it was going well, and my bosses were happy, and I was getting those kind of incremental promotions, and my pay was increasing, and life was going where I thought it was meant to go. And then at the age of 24, something massive happened to me. I had my first child, and any parents out there would know this is a cataclysmic event. It changes everything. And I suddenly realized that the things that I valued in life weren't necessarily worth valuing. Sure, the money was great, but the 60 to 80 hour work weeks that were keeping my bosses happy and keeping those pay rises coming weren't going to be the thing that really made my family happy. I soon realized that what they valued the most wasn't the shiny new car or the status of the promotions that I got, but it was actually the most important commodity of all, and that is time. You see, at the outset of this training, I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm trying to say. I don't want to create this training to help you quit your job. If that's what it allows you to do, because that's what you want to do, then great. But jobs aren't the enemy. Listen, if you enjoy your job, if your job is making an impact, if you're doing something that you're passionate about, you feel purpose to do, please don't feel this is about quitting your job. This is about creating a stream of income that lets you live life on your terms. It's about saying that I'm not going to allow my life anymore to be restricted simply by the need to earn money to pay bills in a job I don't enjoy that isn't making an impact. If you want to move away from working every hour God sends just so you can pay the bills, if you want to move away from missing key events, not being able to go on holiday to the places that you really desire, and not being able to build the future for yourself and your family that you truly desire, if you want to create financial freedom, time freedom, and even location freedom, then you need a source of income that you control that works for you no matter what you do with your time. You need to stop trading time for money. You need a source of income that can consistently and sustainably grow. And the best way to do this is by building a business. Not a business that's disguised as a job where you still put in 60 to 80 hour work weeks, but a real business where you can leverage systems and you can structure things to create true freedom in your life whilst also making an impact on the world. And in this training, I'm going to teach you how to build a brand you own and a life you love, even if you have no previous business experience or expertise. Without a shadow of a doubt, the most exciting business opportunity on the planet right now is online retail. Online retail continues to grow at a consistent rate year upon year, yet we are still in the early days of online retail. You might think that online retail is saturated, that the boom has completed and now it's just going to plateau. I want to tell you that assumption is completely wrong. The market share of online retail in the wider retail space was only 12.2% in 2018. We think Amazon's taken over the world. We think e-commerce has taken over the world, but only 12.2% of the entire retail market was conducted online in 2018. But the good news is that continues to grow year on year at an incredible rate. That figure of 12% is projected to double by 2024, meaning this thing is continuing to grow, and now is an incredible time to get involved in online retail. Today, I want to teach you a model that can actually make the most of this opportunity and create two different ways for you to earn. This business that I'm going to teach you can teach you how to build a business that provides cash flow for you in the present, but also a saleable, valuable asset that can provide for you in your future. To build a business that both pays you now and in the future, you need to build a business that does two things. Firstly, you need to be able to build a brand. And secondly, build systems and structures around that brand that allow you to scale and truly achieve the freedom that you desire in your life. Throughout this training, I'm going to show you how to do both. So how do I get started, Ben? How do I launch this brand of products that you're talking about? We're talking about physical products. How do I even get started with that? Well, the good news for you today is that it is easier than ever before with the advancement of technology, with the advancement of the internet, with the advancement of systems that we can leverage. It has never been easier. I've helped over 200 people in my Amazon Masters community do exactly that in this year alone. But I understand you might have some reservations. Well, how's this even possible? How can I create a brand that is something that's going to be valuable? Well, let me show you how. In today's world, things have changed. You see, there was an old way of doing business. Years ago, the old way of doing business was riddled with costs and limitations. You had to research product ideas with minimal information and lots of guesswork. You had to then go and visit manufacturers to check that your product was getting created in the right way. You had to then ship your products to a warehouse that you owned, that you rented, that you actually paid money for each month. You had to then search desperately for customers who are interested in your product. You had to slowly start selling units, hopefully. You then pack and ship every order physically yourself or pay someone to do it for you on a salaried basis. You had to then receive customer inquiries about shipments, deal with any returns or complaints, and struggle to get any momentum without large financial backing. However, in recent years, with the development of a program called Amazon FBA, or Fulfilled by Amazon, it makes it possible to launch and scale a brand you own with far less work and much higher chances of success, all without a huge marketing budget, experience, or expertise.
See, the new way of doing business, now we have access to this incredible program, is much different. There's so much data available now. It's incredibly easy to find suppliers. In fact, in this training, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I run a 6-figure brand and I've never visited my manufacturers. It's far easier than you would ever imagine. With this new model, we send products directly to Amazon and they store them in their warehouse, meaning we don't have to lease warehouse space. We go live as soon as stock arrives at Amazon and we can be in front of millions of customers every day. We can start making sales from day one. Like one of my students who recently sent me this message to let me know that they had sold 20 units in their first day selling products. This is the new way of doing business. Amazon then pick, pack, and ship for you and deal with all returns, meaning you don't have to lift a finger to ship those products out to your customers. You can launch with a minimal budget in the time you have available to you, and you can start small around your existing commitments and grow your business.
So hopefully you can see that the outlook has changed so much. What was impossible 20 years ago is incredibly possible now. Amazon in the US sees over 2 billion visits per month on its website. In other marketplaces around the world, many of them see over 200 million visits per month. Amazon is seeing double-digit percentage revenue growth every single year, year upon year. And recent studies have shown that over half of all sales happening on the Amazon marketplaces are happening through third-party sellers like me and hopefully soon to be you. This isn't multi-level marketing or some scheme. This is a real business. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, if you want to earn money literally overnight, then this isn't for you. But if you're looking for a business opportunity, a real opportunity to build a real business for ordinary people like you and me to put in some hard work and see some real results, then this is the most incredible opportunity available to you right now. And in this training, I'm going to show you the 4-step process of how to leverage Amazon to build a brand you own and a life you love. Let's dive into the first step. We're going to jump right into the computer now.
So how does this actually work? In this training, I don't want to just pump you full of hot air and tell you how amazing it is. I actually want to show you how to find brand building product opportunities. Here's the key difference I want you to adopt though. Most people doing this, they just want to make money. That's their only focus and their only goal. But what I want you to do is to make a decision that you are going to create a brand of high quality products that people both want and need. By doing that, we can build a brand with sustainability. By doing that, we can build something that we're proud of. We're proud to put our name behind. And I think it's a big difference maker because it changes the way we think about what we're building. If all we're building for is for a little bit of extra cash, we won't really care about what we're building anywhere near as much as if we're proud to represent this brand. I know that's true for my story. When I started out in the world of online retail, I just wanted to make a little bit of extra money, if I'm being honest. I wanted to free up more time to spend with my kids, to do the things I loved. But actually, as I've gone down this road, I've realized that I'm actually passionate about the brands that I'm developing. Actually, they're making a difference in the world. They're improving people's lives. And now I say that with one note of caution and hesitance. The last thing that you want to be doing is just selling something that you're passionate about. We can't just sell whatever we want on Amazon. There are specific criteria for what makes a successful product on Amazon. A big mistake I see people making out there in the Amazon world is that they're passionate about something, therefore they sell products related to that thing. The yoga enthusiast sells yoga mats, the drummer sells drumsticks, and so on and so forth. Look, I get it, right? You're passionate about what you do, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing to say you shouldn't ever sell products related to that industry. But when starting out, what we need to do is take a data-driven approach. Rather than allow our emotions to tell us what we'd like to sell, we actually need to ascertain if there is a market for those products. And not only if there's a market for it, but if Amazon is the suitable marketplace to sell those products on. So the first thing we need to do is not think, what am I passionate about, but think what is going to fit the criteria of what makes a successful product to build a successful brand on Amazon. And the good news when it comes to that is that we are in the best days ever for e-commerce. There's never been more data available to us than there is right now to be able to create brands, launch new products, sell on marketplaces like Amazon. We are in the golden age of what is available to us, and it continues to get better. The tools that are being developed to help us in this process get better and better all the time. And so we can now make data-driven decisions about products we launch upon Amazon. The first criteria that you need to be looking for when looking for a product to sell on Amazon is a product that can be private labeled. Remember how I said earlier that if we want some control back in our lives, we need a source of income we can control. And if we want to control the source of income, then we need to sell our own branded goods. We need to have control over the product, or otherwise we won't have the control over our business. So we're not looking for opportunities to sell branded goods like Adidas trainers or Hot Wheels cars. No, we're not looking for those opportunities. We're looking for opportunities to build our own brand. And now again, this is far simpler than it ever has been in any other time in history for reasons which I'm going to show you in this training. In fact, I'm going to use a commonly private labeled item throughout this training to really act as like a case study or an example of exactly the process we might go through. Say hello to my little friends. We've got here 2 essential oil air diffusers. These are products that are commonly private labeled. There are a plethora of them on Amazon, and I want to show you the power of private labeling through the examples of these products. They are 2 separate brands, different companies selling this product. And as you'll see, they are pretty much identical. You can see the, hopefully the camera picks it up. You can see the logo here on each one of them is about the only thing that's different about these products. Almost identical in every way. In fact, they may actually have been manufactured in the same factory. This version here by this brand, Vixing, has been on Amazon for around 3 to 4 years. It's well established in the marketplace, and because of that, it's doing around £50,000 in sales per month in the UK marketplace alone. Now, this isn't necessarily typical. That is a high revenue product, but these products are out there. This is simple to create. It sells for around £25. I imagine it costs around $5 or $6 to produce in China. Not much to ship. It's quite small and light, and this is a classic example of a private labeled product. Now, this one here, as I've said before, is a pretty identical version. The only difference really is it has this X Plus logo here, and pretty much everything else, different sort of design box as you saw, but everything else is pretty much the same. And I want to show you this as an example because this is how easy it is to create a private labeled branded version of your own product. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to sell essential oil air diffusers. Not suggesting you go and do that because it is a highly competitive market, but what you can actually go and do is you can find a design like this or improve on it if you want, which we'll talk about later, and you can actually take a logo design that you've had created, put it on the product, put it on the packaging, and create your own branded version of that product. That product then becomes yours. It becomes your brand. It becomes a private labeled product that you have created. Now, of course, you can take it further and develop that product and add differentiation to that product, which we'll talk about in a moment. But in essence, it is as simple as that. And so what the owner of this product did is that they recognized the amount of sales that this product was getting. £50,000 a month. That's quite a lot of revenue. I want to come and I want to sort of take a portion of that revenue. This product had over 1,000 reviews, but this product said, you know what, I'm going to tackle it head on and I'm going to see how much revenue I can take from it. And this product has been selling for just under a year, and it's doing some revenue in the region of £4,000 to £5,000 per month on the Amazon UK marketplace. And now you might say, well, Ben, this guy's killing the game, £50,000, and little old air diffuser over here is only doing £5,000 a month. And I would say to you, absolutely, it's a tenth of the revenue, but in just under a year, this product has come and claimed £5,000 per month of the revenue that products like this one were achieving before this one came along. And this is exactly the kind of example I want you to see. I want you to imagine a year from now, what kind of market could you disrupt? What kind of market could you enter with a product like this, with an opportunity like this, come along, take away some of the revenue from some of the existing products and begin to funnel it towards your product. This product is probably making in the region of 30 to 40% profit margin. So of that £5,000, you can expect somewhere around the £1,500, around about $2,000 per month of that to be product. It's one product, it takes very little work once it's up and running, and as a profit amount extrapolated out over the year, only takes 1 or 2 of these products to begin to make a healthy living for your life, right? So I wanted to give you that example to show you what's possible with branding, show you what's possible to create something different from what's already out there, very, very simply, and we're going to use these examples throughout this training. In terms of criteria for how to find these kind of products, knowing that there's thousands of these opportunities out there just waiting for you, Well, Ben, how do I actually find these opportunities then? Well, within my Amazon Masters training, I've actually devised what I call the product research funnel. It's got 6 steps, 6 specific criteria that you need to look for in a product that can be private labeled and sold on Amazon. Just how a funnel is designed to give you a steady flow, it's designed to narrow down. The process of product research is not just about finding opportunities. There's so many out there. What it's about is about narrowing down the opportunities to what suits your circumstances and your situation the best. So we're going to talk through each of those now. We're going to dive into the computer and we're going to talk through each of those 6 steps, and I'm going to show you how to find great product opportunities. Let's go. The first of the 6 essential criteria for a good brand building product opportunity is adequate demand. The key metric to consider when assessing demand is what Amazon calls BSR, or best sellers rank. Amazon rank every product in every category based on how well they have been selling. The lower the number, the more sales it is making. The number 1 ranked product in a category is the best selling product in that category. We're looking for the BSR of the top level categories. So pet supplies, home and kitchen. So we're looking at this top level category rather than any of the categories underneath it. And when we're looking through these numbers, what we're looking for, what my suggestion is for a range to be searching within, in the UK marketplace and the European marketplaces, it is a BSR of between 300 and 3,000. If you're looking to sell in the US marketplace, demand is a lot higher, and therefore most people are going to want to be searching between 3,000 and 30,000 for the BSR, which will provide you with a lot more manageable demand levels for a first product. Obviously, if you have a much larger budget, or even if you have a lower budget, you can look to adjust those numbers according to where you're at. But looking at the lower end of that BSR, so say in the UK between 300 and 1,000, the sales volume is going to be a lot higher than 2,000 to 3,000. So it really does depend on what your budget is. If you've got a higher budget, you can go after a higher demand. If you've got a lower budget, I'd suggest going after a lower demand. You see, when assessing demand, we're not rushing in and simply looking for high demand products. Don't believe every hyped up video you watch on YouTube. If you're looking for hype about $1 million product opportunities, I'm not your guy. Remember, this is not a get rich quick scheme. We're building a real business here. And to do that, we need to find a market that fits our options. You can start this business with a small budget. It just changes the kind of product you're looking for. You can begin to search through categories by entering a minus symbol followed by a string of 7 unrelated characters. This will bring up everything that doesn't contain that string of characters, which of course should be everything. Now you can start to scan the BSR numbers. I'd recommend installing a BSR Chrome extension similar to what's shown here. There are many available via a simple Google search. As you can see, there are over 1 million results when we try to bring up everything on Amazon. So it's going to take us a fair bit of time to look through these manually. As I'll mention, there will be some ways that you can actually automate a lot of this process that I'll introduce you to a little bit later on, and also talk you through exactly how I'm going to provide you with those tools if you do decide to join me in the Amazon Masters. But for now, what you can begin to do in order to speed up this process is, rather than look through every single product, because obviously there's going to be a lot of these categories that we're not going to look to sell in, like DVDs and Blu-rays, like CDs and vinyl, like book. What we're looking for are categories that can be private labeled easily. So we are looking at things like pets and supplies, home and kitchen, garden and outdoors, and these kind of categories. And in order to make this a little bit easier, what we can do is we can begin to narrow down the category. Let's say, for instance, you're interested in building a brand in the home and kitchen market. So you can come into home and kitchen and see how our search term has sort of remained here. So it's still going to bring up everything in this category, but all of a sudden, from over 1 million results is over 50,000 results. Okay, so it's narrowed it down quite somewhat, but still over 50,000 results. It's going to take a lot of time searching through each individual one, looking for these top level categories BSR. So again, we can begin to narrow it down, and we might want to look at arts and crafts. That might be something that interests us, or we just want to run the numbers on it. And again, you can bring it all the way down to a very niche category here. So maybe woodcraft or even sewing is something that you want to take a look at. And obviously you can take this as far down as it goes, right down to the very bottom category levels. Here you've got over 10,000 results, so you might want to go down again and get more niche and more specific, and then you can tackle each individual category like that. That's a way to get more focused with the search. That's a way to really get a bit more organized with it, and something you can break it off in more manageable chunks. As you're looking through these results, you're going to want to note down any that fit your criteria whilst also cross-referencing against the second step. The second step, the second set of criteria we're looking for a winning product is low competition. When starting out, I recommend aiming for under 200 reviews. It's not impossible to overcome this level later, but when starting out, it gives you an opportunity to stand out in the marketplace much easier. Again, depending on your circumstances, you might go after higher competition products. You may feel you have the knowledge, the marketing expertise, or the budget to go after higher competition products. Of course, usually the reward is much greater, but as a recommendation, as a guideline, I recommend looking under 200 reviews. Also, I'd avoid markets that are dominated by big brands. You don't really want to be private labeling a vacuum, for instance, or things like that are dominated by one or two brands. The third criteria for how to find winning product ideas is clear room for differentiation. This third step is absolutely vital, the ability to differentiate from what is already available in the market. A short way to build a frustrating business is to skip this step, and doing so is one of the major reasons why people don't initially see the results they hope to achieve. Ask yourself, what features are missing? What doesn't work? What does the customer want? How could you provide more value? Answer these questions and look to provide that in the product you're going to produce. If when scanning the market for a particular product, you notice that the average review rating is low, so 4 stars, 3.5 stars, 3 stars, this would suggest that customers on the whole aren't completely satisfied with what is available, and something of better quality and value would generate sales. The fourth criteria we need to fulfill for a winning product is that we need to be able to sell it at a price for which we can make profit. Profitability. In order to ensure that you are actually making some money, after all, that's what this whole thing is about, right? You're going to want to aim to sell a product between around $15 or pounds and $60 or pounds. Any lower than $15 or pounds and you'll struggle to make it worthwhile profit after all your expenses. Any higher and you begin to move away from the range that is associated with more impulse and quick purchase decisions, which really does help your conversion rate. You can use the spreadsheet I provided for you within your Brand Builder startup to assess profitability at a glance. This spreadsheet includes all fees, include VAT if selling in Europe. I'd suggest trying to avoid adding any unnecessary size or weight to your product, as these will affect the shipping and fulfillment expenses and reduce your final profit. Take a look at some of the products that you've brought down the funnel so far. Maybe you've found a list of products that maybe 100 that have got adequate demand, and then maybe 50 of those 100 that have got low enough competition levels. Maybe you've found 20 that you can differentiate, you can create something new with. Now it's time to take those products that you've got on your list so far through the profitability process. And don't worry if you don't know what the cost of manufacturing might be for your product. You can estimate it for now, or you can wait until the next part of the training where I'm going to run you through exactly how to find it out. The fifth question you need to ask to be able to find winning product opportunities is, can I build a brand on the back of this? Or is there potential for future scale within a brand? You want to be looking for product opportunities that aren't one-time standalone product opportunities. You don't want to be selling the next fidget spinner that has no related product whatsoever. You want to be selling a product that you can then launch another product and another product and another product after that. The bigger you can build your brand and the bigger you can build your customer base, the easier it gets to continue launching products, diversifying your product portfolio, and building this business to something that's going to truly transform your life. And finally, the sixth stage of this product research funnel is just to check that this product is not restricted by patents, trademarks, or safety concerns. You can check for restricted patents or trademarks by conducting searches on websites like the USPTO and the UK IPO website. So far in part one, you've learned in order to be truly free, you need to stop trading time for money. Also, that building a brand that pays you both now and in the future is the best way of doing that. That launching a physical product brand is far easier than it ever has been before. And also the 6 criteria of launching a successful product on Amazon. Information alone won't help you succeed. Information alone is great, but there's so much more beyond that. And in step 2, we're going to take things a whole lot further. We're going to look at the steps you need to create a brand, how to find manufacturers that are just waiting to work for you, ordering high quality inventory that is an investment in your business, and how to leverage cost-effective services to ship your goods worldwide without any of the hassle. Thanks Thankfully, these days, creating a brand is actually pretty easy. Remember the air diffusers I showed you in part one? One of them doing £50,000 a month, one of them doing $5,000 a month. Well, the only real difference between these two products is the logo that's printed on the front of the product. And you can see here the two different versions, and otherwise they are pretty darn similar. And so the good news is that it doesn't take much to create a brand. In fact, all you need to start your business today is a logo and a brand name. Firstly, your brand name. You're going to want to make sure that it's relevant to your brand wherever possible, that it's short enough to be memorable, that there's a domain name available for it, preferably .com, if not something that's related to the local marketplace that you're going to be targeting, and then also something that isn't actually already trademarked. In your Brand Builder Bootcamp workbook, there is actually a checklist for you to go through when creating your brand identity, just to make sure you do check off all of these items. And then it comes to your logo. And now with the Amazon Masters program, we do provide for you logo creation services that you can utilize, but if you choose to do it on your own, it's pretty easy too. You can go to sites like Fiverr, Upwork, and get logos created relatively quickly. You can add other elements to your brand like imagery, colors, fonts, websites, all this kind of stuff can come later. But what I don't want you to do is get so overwhelmed with all of those things that you don't get started. All you need to get started is a logo and a brand name, and we can continue. Don't forget, there's a complete checklist for everything you need to remember in your Brand Builder Bootcamp workbook. Now that you've seen step one, how to select a good product opportunity, your brand is in motion. This thing is starting to move, and now we actually need to move on to step two, which is how to source quality products. It's time to find suppliers that can't wait to work with you, order high quality inventory that is an investment aiding the growth of your business, and ship your inventory to an Amazon warehouse so you can start making sales right away. Firstly, let's look at how we find suppliers. If you're looking for a product that goes in your mouth or on your body, such as food, drink, supplements, creams, lotions, and so on, then I would suggest that you first look in your local marketplace. If you're living in the USA, UK, or Europe, I would recommend a simple Google search using the product name followed by private label to begin your search. If you don't live in one of these countries, you could always include one of these countries in your search on Google. Remember, you can sell on Amazon from anywhere in the world. So just because your product is being produced in the UK or USA doesn't mean you have to be based there. For every other kind of product, I recommend an online marketplace called Alibaba. Alibaba is one of the biggest companies in the world. It's based out of China and it's actually traded on the New York Stock Exchange. This is an incredibly legitimate company. Alibaba connects you with a vast array of manufacturing companies that are literally producing every kind of product you could ever imagine. So let's take a look at exactly how we might go about finding the best suppliers that suit our project. So firstly, we come to Alibaba.com and we want to navigate to the search bar at the top of the page. I'm going to use the example of the essential oil air diffusers that we've been using in the previous examples, just to give you an idea of this running right through. Enter into the products tab and hit search, and your results will begin to come up and show you what potential options are available. And now obviously you can have a browse through these and see if it's something that you want to really divert away from what other people are selling, or source something similar to like what we've already seen as an example that I've shown you. The big thing you're going to be looking for obviously is going to be price. And now the examples that I've shown you are selling for around £20 to £25 in the UK and Europe, and around $30 in the US. So you're going to be wanting to look for a manufacturing price around $5 to $6. So this one obviously fits from the outset and looks relatively good, and you can begin to have a little bit of a look through here. It is worth noting, of course, that these price estimates should be seen as just that, estimates. Quoted prices shouldn't always be taken at face value, and you'll always need to clarify and confirm pricing along with minimum order quantities before moving forward with any plans. You'll often find once contacting these suppliers that these prices may change. These prices may be advertised as lower than they actually are to begin a conversation with you as their marketing tactic, or they may require that you actually order a larger amount of units than you're willing to in order to bring that price down to what they've advertised. Some will honor those prices. It really is just a case of testing and seeing. But with your suppliers, a little bit of negotiation can go a long way. So don't worry, these quoted prices can both go up and down. In order to ensure your supplier is good quality, you can either begin to scan through the sidebar of each of these products and look at the supplier information. The areas to be looking for are the amount of time that they've been in business, whether they have trade assurance, which is a buyer protection service, which we'll talk through in a minute, and whether they are a gold supplier. You can look through each of these and cross-reference for them and begin to contact suppliers that only have this if you like, but we are going to, I'll show you an easier way. You can come to suppliers and then actually search for your essential oil diffusers via the suppliers tab. What this does is it cuts out any suppliers that are listing multiple products on that page, so you don't contact suppliers 2 times over. The only downside to the suppliers tab is it doesn't show you pricing initially, but given the fact that the pricing can often fluctuate when you contact them, it's well worth coming here and sorting for the kind of supplier you're looking for, contacting as many as you can, and then looking to work with the ones that are going to fit your pricing model. So in order to narrow down to the suppliers we want, initially here we've got nearly 2,000 suppliers, which is way more than we're going to want to contact. So you want to make sure you do click this trade assurance option. Trade assurance is a security measure put in place by Alibaba, meaning that if your supplier doesn't follow through with what you've agreed upon, you can apply for a refund. The verified badge is something that suppliers actually have paid a membership fee to Alibaba for and are deemed to be premium level suppliers. The requirements are relatively loose for this, so whilst it does improve the quality of the available suppliers, if this limits it too much, you can always remove this filter and prioritize trade assurance. But in this instance, we have still been left with 395 suppliers that are both trade assurance and verified. So we're going to go through this and we're going to begin to look at some of our suppliers, and then one by one we're going to want to choose some of these suppliers to contact. Choose several suppliers. I recommend contacting at least 10. Begin to contact them using the contact supplier button. You can enter a message in this box and contact the supplier. What I would recommend is using the contact supplier template that you have found in your Brand Builder Startup Bundle. This will actually help you come across as very professional from the outset and help you sound like you know what you're talking about, which of course after this Brand Builder Bootcamp you do. So you can begin to put that information in here, type it in, send the message through and send your inquiry now. I'd recommend repeating that process at least 10 times with at least 10 different suppliers, and then you're going to begin to get some communication back from these suppliers about their pricing, minimum order quantities, and so on. Inevitably, some won't reply. Inevitably, some will be slow to reply. This process is all about filtering out bad quality suppliers. Go through this process, find the best suppliers, and we'll be ready to go on to the next phase. Aim to build a relationship with your suppliers, recognizing that they are human too. You need to be patient with them. You need to be persistent with them, and you will ultimately need to negotiate a little bit with them. Don't negotiate too hard, because often if you push too hard and they eventually back down and reduce their pricing, then it may result in a poorer quality product. Attempt some good, friendly negotiation at first, and if it doesn't fit your financial model, then do look to source from other suppliers too. In order to ensure the quality of your product is something that you are proud of and that your customers will love, I recommend ordering a sample a little bit like this. Your sample should arrive packaged in a box like this. It may be generic, it may be someone else's brand, but you should get a sample from a supplier just to be able to test it and play around with it. You'll be able to kind of pull it out of the box, play with it, look at it, smell it, taste it. Maybe don't taste it, but you can have a play with this. You can test it as you normally would, use it as you normally would, plug it in, switch the buttons on, do the lights work? Is the quality what you are looking for in a product that you would be proud of? If you've used the content of the supplier contact template that I include with this training, most diligent suppliers should have already given you a price for this, but generally it's around $50 to $60 shipped anywhere in the world for 1 unit of a sample. This may sound high to you, but suppliers will do this just to ward off any time wasters. So show them you're serious, show them you're committed, and from your 10 or so suppliers that you've contacted, consider ordering 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 samples from different suppliers to be able to test the quality of the products they produce. Once you're satisfied with your sample and you've chosen your supplier, it's time to make your first batch order of inventory. Exciting times. Soon you're going to be able to touch your product. You're going to be able to see what you've created and show your friends what you've made. This is a really exciting phase of your new business. Most suppliers work on a 30-70 payment structure, meaning that you will need to place a 30% deposit and that you will then need to pay the 70% balance once production has completed. In order to verify the standards of production, you can and should organize a third-party inspection company to visit your manufacturer and perform random quality checks on the final goods. In the Amazon Masters Vault, we have tried, tested, and proven contacts for you to help with every stage of this process.
At this moment, your new business starts to get very real, right? Both in the excitement of taking strides forward to change your life, to build a brand you own and a life you love. It's exciting, right? But it can also be daunting. So I get it, right? But listen, any financial success, it requires investment. And that's exactly what this is. You are investing in stock that you have tested, that you know is going to be good quality. It's going to be an investment that's going to build a business for you that's going to change your financial future.
In order to have the margins to grow your business, aim for 100% return on your investment. That means if you invest £1,000 in stock, after all associated fees and expenses, you are making £1,000 in profit.
This is a conservative and achievable number that gives you something to aim at, that allows you to get started and scale as quickly as possible. The sooner you can get started and the higher return on investment you can get, the quicker you can scale this business into something that will truly change your life.
Your next step is to organize the shipping of your inventory. Now, again, this is something that used to be quite overwhelming and complex, but this new way of doing business really does simplify things for us. Remember how I told you about the old way of doing business? Right now, you've ordered your products, you've had them manufactured, they're ready to ship. You'd have to do an inspection on the goods yourself. You would have to connect with Chinese shipping companies and make sure your product is being delivered where it needs to be, and you would have to have your hand on every step of the process. Finally, you'd need to have warehouse space ready for these products to ship to in order to be able to store them. But the beauty of the Amazon FBA model is that you can run this business from anywhere in the world. You can ship your products to the Amazon warehouse, they will store it for you, and you never have to touch a piece of inventory. There are now also a range of highly vetted and highly proven services called freight forwarders that will actually oversee this whole process for you, meaning you don't have to trade more of your time in order to get this work done. You can actually leverage the skills and the abilities of other people to make sure it happens in the right way. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or feeling like the shipping process is going to be confusing, then actually they will take care of all of this for you. A good freight forwarder will oversee all of the following processes for you whilst removing all of the headache from your agenda. Firstly, they'll contact your supplier to arrange the pickup of the inventory. They'll then deliver that inventory to the port ready for shipment. They'll ship it by sea, and then when it arrives at their port of destination, they'll take it to their warehouse where they'll then prepare it for delivery to Amazon. They'll deliver it to their Amazon warehouse, and they'll keep you fully updated with every step of the journey. Freight forwarders oversee this whole process for you, all the way from your manufacturer's doorstep to an Amazon FBA warehouse. When your products are stored in the Amazon warehouse, it means they're automatically enabled for prime delivery, which, as you know, is something that customers absolutely love. And remember, Amazon is going to be doing all of your picking, your packing, your shipping, your returns, your customer inquiries. Amazon is going to be doing all of that for you, and that is the beauty of what happens when we leverage this Amazon FBA opportunity. Amazon will work for you through the day and through the night so that you can leverage your time to build a brand you own and a life you love. And remember, Amazon are going to be doing all of the picking, packing, sorting, shipping, returns, storage, customer inquiries, all of that kind of stuff. Amazon is going to be handling all of that. You get to leverage the system. You get to leverage all that Amazon offers you. They will work for you through the day and through the night so that you can leverage your time to do what matters most. You can build a brand you own and build a life you love. Once your products begin to sell, Amazon will begin to pay you directly into your bank account once every 2 weeks. When it comes to getting started, one of the big things that people ask me is, Ben, how much is this going to cost me? How much money am I going to need to invest to make this business work? Now, as I've already said, that any business or any financial success is going to require investment. But the good news is that this opportunity is like nothing we've ever seen before. The average shop takes $30,000 to $50,000 to get started. The average cafe takes $50,000 to $70,000 to get started. And the average gym takes over $100,000 to get launched as a business. However, you can get started in this business for a fraction of that expense. In fact, included in your Brand Builder Startup Bundle is my budget assessor that I've created for my students. And what it helps you to do is to assess the budget that you have, the amount you want to allocate toward inventory, and then the parameters within which you can search for a product. And I would encourage you to test this out, have a look at this, and it will really help you get an idea of what sort of price you can afford to pay for the amount of units you're going to order. What I want you to do is to be able to build this business without taking on debt or high levels of risks. I want you to build this business without losing sleep over it. Of course, there's going to be courageous steps you'll need to take, but that's what happens when we want to change our lives. We have to do something different, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes. But the good thing is there are minimal costs with this business. The main cost is inventory. And now I recommend you don't invest a crazy amount of money to begin with, even if you have loads to invest. Start small, learn this business, and work your way up. As I've shown you, the stats show that Amazon continues to grow, that e-commerce continues to grow, but it is still in its infancy. Only 12% of all retail was taken up by online retail in 2018. This has a long way to run yet. There's no rush. Don't rush into mistakes. Start small and work your way up. If you want to start with a low budget, what you're going to need to do is look out for a few things. The first thing you need to do is be able to negotiate a low order quantity with your supplier. Your initial order quantity, you will need to order a low amount in order to be able to use a smaller budget. Then you're going to also want to look for products that are small, light, and cheap to produce in order that you can airship them quickly. We want to be able to airship them quickly to Amazon because then we're going to be able to replace our stock that has sold through because we've ordered a lower amount. And now, where possible, I would always recommend sea shipping because it is much cheaper, much more economical. But if you do have a low budget to get started with, this is what I would recommend. I've given examples on my YouTube channel of how I launched a product recently for under £1,000, which once launched generated 5 figures in annual revenue. You can do this for a low budget. You just have to look for these certain criteria.
And listen, if budget is something you're struggling with, what I would recommend is that you continue the learning process, right? You don't wait until you've got money together, £500, £1,000, $1,000, €1,000, wherever you are in the world. Don't wait until you've got a certain amount of money together to continue the learning process, but actually learn everything you can now so that when you are ready to launch your first product, you've got the learning in the bank. So let's recap what we've learned in part 2 of the Brand Builder Bootcamp.
You've learned the steps of brand creation so that you can own the products which you sell. You've learned about finding suppliers that can't wait to work with you. You've learned about ordering high quality inventory that is an investment aiding the growth of your business. And you've learned about shipping your inventory to an Amazon warehouse so you can start selling right away.
And I'm sure by now some of you are asking, Ben, how exactly are people going to find this product that I've paid for and shipped over and done all this investment in? How are people actually going to find me? Isn't this a massive risk? Well, in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to get your product in front of thousands of hungry buyers with easy to learn marketing tactics that very few people are using. So once you've selected and sourced, it's now time to sell. To think through how we're going to successfully sell your brand's new products on Amazon, I want you for a moment to consider how you buy products on Amazon. You have a product you're thinking of purchasing, perhaps one of our air diffusers. So you type in essential oil air diffuser in the search bar. You browse the readily available results and begin to look at one or more listings. You make a buying decision and hand your money over to a seller just like you, all more often than not without ever going near the second page of search results. Given Amazon.com is attracting over 2 billion visits per month and its other marketplaces in the hundreds of millions each month, wouldn't it be good to know how to appear high up in these search results for search terms related to your brand's products? Let me say it like this. What if, instead of paying Amazon to buy products, Amazon paid you to sell products on their platform? So that all sounds great and nice, but how do I actually get my product in front of people? If I'm going to build a brand from scratch, I need to get my products onto page 1 of Amazon in front of these thousands upon thousands of hungry buyers. And in this part of the training, I'm going to show you exactly how.
The 2 key aspects we're going to be looking at are how to create a professional, high quality and sales driven product listing that represents your brand, and how to generate your first sales by launching your product using easy to learn, cutting edge marketing strategies.
The key to launching your brand successfully on Amazon is visibility.
Think back to what I asked you earlier in the training about how you search on Amazon, how you buy on Amazon. You go to Amazon, you're looking for a product that you want to buy, you type what you think the product describes the product into the search bar, and then you browse the available options and you make your selection, right? And now here's the thing, millions of people are doing that every single month, every single week, every single day, are doing the exact same process. So the level of your success on Amazon is largely determined by what happens after someone goes through this process. When they search for a product, let's say an air diffuser, someone searches air diffuser. Does your product come up? Does someone else's product come up? Where in the search results does your product appear? That's the first thing you need to be concerned about. Nextly, you need to be concerned about what people do when your product does come up. Do they click on your listing? Do they buy your product? All of these things are going to be the result of what happens after someone searches in the search bar. And ultimately, it will define your success on Amazon. The higher your product appears in the Amazon search results, and the more often a shopper turns into a buyer when on your listing, the more revenue your brand will generate. And to turn this all into reality, the first thing you need to consider, the first thing you need to look at are what are people actually searching for with some keyword research. In order to begin the keyword research process, head to Amazon and use the main term that describes your product. In our example, is air diffuser. Now, when you search air diffuser, over 20,000 results come up. So obviously this is a high volume keyword. What we want to look for initially are some lower volume keywords. We want to aim for longer, lower traffic, lower competition keywords initially in order to help us rank our product highly in these search term results. So what we can do is come back to the search bar and begin to type into the search bar, and it will give us some suggestions. These suggestions are in the order of search volume or popularity, so they're a great example of what to be looking for when trying to find keywords. You can install a Chrome plugin just like the one I've got here that will expand out these keywords a little bit to give you more options that you might not otherwise find. But for now, I'm going to choose air diffuser essential oils and see how that affects the results that we get. Okay, so still over 20,000 results. So still a little bit high competition. We might want to then look at what kind of size we might be selling. So for instance, this one here is 300 milliliters. This is the one that's doing £50,000 a month, and they're doing 300 milliliters. So we might sort of look at these, and this one's doing 400 milliliters, 250, 300. We might have looked at that and think, well, I want to do a 500 mil. Okay, here's a 500 mil. They've tried to differentiate by doing a larger one there. So maybe we've done the same. So for instance, we might want to look at air diffuser essential oils, and then put our market in there. Well, you can see it's right there, the first one, 500 mil. So obviously it's searched for quite a bit. Might be a good opportunity to differentiate. And as you can see, over 1,000 results. So it's cut the amount of results by 20-fold. And so it makes it a lot less competitive to be able to rank for this keyword, because you don't have to get past 20,000 products. You only have to get past 1,000, which when it comes to Amazon and the marketing strategies and the listing building that I'll show you is actually very achievable. So this is how you want to begin to search for your keywords that you're going to target in the initial phase of your product launch. We want to create an initial focus list of 3 to 5 low competition keywords that we can use to launch our product, gain some visibility for, and start making sales. In time, you'll build up your keyword list and target shorter, higher traffic keywords that will reap even more rewards. Some high volume keywords are searched hundreds of thousands of times every single month. In the Amazon Masters, I'll also provide you with tools, training, and strategies to automate a lot of this process, enabling you to find hundreds of these keywords in just a short session. In order to target your initial keyword list, you're going to want to make sure that you build a listing that's designed to show up as often as possible in search results, but also convert potential customers into actual paying customers. We're going to build your listing around 3 core things. The first is your list of keywords that you've just found. The second is a list of 3 to 5 core benefits of your product. And the final thing is any differentiating factors of your product. We've looked at your keyword list. Now let's look at the other 2 factors. Firstly, let's discuss the core benefits of your product. Notice now how I say benefits and not features. Features and benefits are 2 different things, and understanding the difference will change the game for you as a brand builder on Amazon. Understanding and implementing the difference of this alone will put you in the top tier of sellers on Amazon. A feature is defined as a typical quality or an important part of something, whereas a benefit is defined as a helpful or good effect or something intended to help. The key difference I'm sure you noticed is in how it actually affects the customer. A feature just describes the feature, right? It just describes what happens. It describes a part of the product. But the benefit actually talks about how is this going to impact the customer's life. Harvard marketing professor Theodore Levitt once said that people don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill bit, they want a 1/4-inch hole. The drill bit is merely a feature, a means to an end, but what people truly want is the hole that it makes. Seth Godin talks about this in depth in his highly recommended book, This Is Marketing, where he goes on to talk about how people don't really want what you're selling, they want how what you're selling makes them feel. Let's take a look at this air diffuser for a moment and use it as an example. So a feature of this air diffuser is that it diffuses essential oils. It's the main feature, it's something that should be talked about in the listing, but that alone is not enough. You need to talk about the benefit, which could be described as improving your mood by aiding relaxation. All of a sudden, diffusing essential oils, that's pretty standard, that's what the product's about, becomes by diffusing these essential oils, it can improve your mood by aiding relaxation. People don't want an air diffuser, people want their mood to be relaxed. People want the effect that they're going to get from diffusing these essential oils. You see the difference between the feature and the benefit. The feature may be that it has an ambient light that shines different colors around it, which looks nice, and that is a feature of the product. But the benefit could be described as adding to a pleasing decor of your home. Okay, so all of a sudden, an ambient light becomes something that's pleasing, that's pleasurable to look at. It's nice. It creates a nice feeling in the home. Another feature of this diffuser might be that it has a timer, and so again, you can talk about that feature and describe that feature, but it doesn't really convey much emotion to the customer. But what all of a sudden creates a sense of benefit in their life is by saying it allows you to walk into a beautifully scented home after work. The customer can imagine that. They can imagine coming home, and rather than coming home to a smelly, untidy, house, it gives them the picture of coming home to just something that smells amazing, that feels amazing, that's just nice to come home to. And all of a sudden, this list of features that we could have described very blandly has been developed into a set of benefits that actually is going to cause someone that looks at this listing and looks at this product to want to purchase. A final step you can take is to actually browse the reviews of any of your competitors' products. Like if I was going to launch an air diffuser, I'd be browsing the reviews of this brand, the other brand, and I'll be looking all through them, and just to see if there are any negative reviews being left by customers to really describe features that we have implemented into our product that we can then highlight in the listing. For instance, I mentioned in the features and benefits about a timer. This one doesn't actually have a timer. You can set it for an hour or 3 hours or 6 hours, but there's no way to set it for a certain time every day. Now, if I was the owner of one of these or the developer of one of these, I would want to put in some kind of functionality to have a timer on it so that the customer could actually set it at, say, 5 p.m. if they're going to come home at 6 p.m. so that it runs for an hour, so the beautiful fragrances have filled the entire home just for when they arrive home, right? So they don't have to get home, turn it on, it then fills the air and there's a bit of a delay, but the moment they walk in, that would be a great addition to this product, I believe. This product doesn't have it, so I would develop that in the product, and then I would make sure I made a real point of highlighting that in my listing so the customers know, this feature that other people have complained about not having or wished that this other product had, my product had, right? So you've got those 3 lists of things that you need to build your listing around, which is your keyword list, your key benefits list, and also any differentiating factors. Now you've got those 3 lists, let's go on to building your listing. Set up your Amazon Seller Central account if you haven't already. Identification requirements will vary depending on what country you live in and what marketplaces you decide to sell in first, but generally the process is pretty straightforward. Once open, head to the Inventory tab and add a product. You'll need to get a UPC or EAN number from GS1, which you can then apply to your product. To create an optimized listing, you'll need to focus on 5 initial areas: images, title, bullet points, description, and back-end search terms. Let's start with your images. These are going to be one of the key areas that turn browsers into buyers. Aim for a sharp, colorful main image that stands out from the crowd, ensuring to comply with Amazon's terms of service. In particular, use a white background and only show the product. Then you'll have space for 6 to 8 more images depending on the category you're in. I recommend creating informative and engaging infographics that sell the benefits of your product in the images. We want browsers to turn into buyers before they even get to any text. Images are a major factor in conversion rates on Amazon, so make sure you focus on these. Make sure images are at least 1000 times 1000 pixels in size in order to make them zoomable. Next, you want to create an engaging title that centers around one or two of your main keyword phrases and benefits. As well as highlighting any key features, for example, size, color, and so on, keep an element of flow to your title. And like all text-based elements in your listing, avoid making it look spammy. Your bullet points or key features appear next to your images on desktop, but further down on mobile. Keep these punchy, include keywords that describe your product, and continue to sell the benefits. Your product description gives you more space to describe the full extent of detail surrounding your products, and you should utilize the space effectively with more clear, compelling, benefit-driven copy. Finally, your back-end search terms. This is a section in your listing that no one will see. It doesn't appear on the front end or the visible side of Amazon, hence the term back-end search terms. This is where you can put all the keywords that may help people find your product but don't fit or flow in the rest of your copy. A little bit of a tip here is to avoid putting competitors' brand names in this section. Even though no one can see it visibly, there can be search tools that can be run on your back-end search terms, and if you're discovered to be putting a competitor's search term or brand name in your search terms, you may get in a spot of trouble. To put these search terms into your Amazon listing, simply navigate to the Keywords tab and enter them in the search terms box. Now you've got an optimized listing ready for the world to see. Next, I'm going to teach you how to use cutting-edge marketing strategies that very few people are using so that you can launch with momentum. Generally, when sourcing from China, the manufacturing of your goods will take around 4 weeks, maybe 2 weeks at the minimum, but 2 to 4 weeks as an average. It'll also take around 2 to 4 weeks to ship your product to an Amazon warehouse, depending on the method of shipping you use. So in all, we're looking at around 4 to 8 weeks between when you place your order and when your product goes live on sale. And now we're not going to waste this time. We're going to use this time really well by building an audience of hungry buyers. There's a range of ways we can do this, but by utilizing these methods and building an audience around our brand, we ensure that every new product you release in the future gets easier and easier. As you continue to serve a growing audience of hungry buyers, the demand for your range of products is going to increase. In part 4, I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step path to scaling your brand so that in the future, your brand's products practically launch themselves. But when it comes to launching your first product, I'm going to show you one of the easiest and most effective ways to connect targeted buyers to your new brand and your new product. This method uses a tool called ManyChat that acts as an automated message delivery service on Facebook. And now don't worry if that sounds complicated, it really isn't, and I'll show you the steps of how to get started with it right now. First, set up an account at ManyChat.com, along with a page for your brand on Facebook and a Facebook Business Manager account. These are simple processes that just involve filling in forms and should only take 5 minutes. Once you're done, link your ManyChat account to your Facebook page and we're ready to go. Then you need to navigate to the Growth Tools section of your ManyChat account and come to Widgets and then come up here to New Growth Tool. We're going to choose the Facebook Comments option. When you choose the Facebook Comments option, this is going to give us the ability to be able to send anyone a message that comments on a post that we're going to create in a moment. So we're going to set it up as a specific post. We're going to select the post in a moment once it's created. And then when people leave a comment on our post on Facebook, we can actually automate a message being sent directly to them. You can then go in through to the next step and you can actually customize exactly what you want to put in here. This is where you'll want to decide your approach ahead of time and decide exactly what kind of marketing strategy and promotion you're going to run. Now you can do something as simple as 10, 20, 25% off, or you can run complete giveaways where you're giving away free units in order to generate a higher velocity of sales. Figure out what works for you, what works for your budget, and then implement from there. But 25% off is a really good place to start. You can say something like this: we've got a special 25% promotion happening at launch date in just a few weeks' time. Shall we add you to our VIP list in the run-up to our launch? And you can unsubscribe at any time. And so the customer's going to receive this message when they comment on the post I'm about to show you in a moment. So this message is related to the post we've created. It all links in and they feel a sense of connection with it. And then what's going to happen is that this person is going to be on our list. They're on our ManyChat list and we can contact them at any time. Now, this is why I say you can unsubscribe at any time, because in a moment, I'm going to talk you through why you might want to contact them ahead of your launch. So when it comes to the post, come over to your Facebook page and create a post. As you can see, I've got an example here. This can just be on your page and you can create this post as you normally would any post on Facebook. I've just put a little bit of dummy text in here. You can do way better than this, but just something that I just knocked up real quick. And an image here that again, it's got like a flash 25% off that doesn't show there, and then just a cheeky little image of some random air diffuser. You can do way better than this. You can use tools like canva.com to create free images that can look really good for promotions. And you can come up with something better than this, but just to show you as an example. Then you want to post this post to your newsfeed, but also Facebook give you this option here to boost your post. When you click this, it's going to give you a bunch of different options about targeting, who you want to target, what interests they have, what they're connected to, and so forth. You can set your budget, how many days you want it to run, click set budget, and that's going to start your ad running. And then this ad is going to go out to people that are interested in the topic we have chosen in our ad. And as soon as they start saying yes, that they're interested in this launch, then our automated ManyChat system is going to get to work and it's going to connect with them and follow up from there, all in an automated fashion. Now, as I said a moment ago, you could wait until your product is live to do this, and ultimately that will help you with conversions in the here and now because it will help with quick decision purchases. People can purchase right away and you can get the ball moving like that. But by building your list in advance, you can begin to contact these people with valuable content prior to your product arriving. And what this will actually do is this will warm them up to your brand. They'll get to know your brand. Remember, you're coming in cold. This is your first product that you're selling. And so to build a bit of rapport with your audience, to build a bit of rapport with your brand, is going to increase the likelihood that they're going to purchase at a lower discount rate. If you're trying to sell it completely cold, completely new, you might have to do more than 25%. You might have to do 50%, 70% in order to get the amount of sales that you want to drive to get that visibility on Amazon. So this is why I recommend this approach. Build an audience, build some rapport with them, and you can do that by utilizing the time that your product is in production and being shipped. When your product arrives and it's in stock, you can head back to ManyChat, create a new broadcast, and let all of your customers know that your product is live and available. In your broadcast message, you're going to want to send them to your Amazon product listing, letting them know that your 25% voucher is active on Amazon. And listen, don't worry if the last 5 minutes has felt like gobbledygook to you, if it's felt like an alien language, don't worry. This is way simpler than it seems at first, and I'm here to help you along the way. In fact, inside the Amazon Masters Facebook group, I've got a PDF guide on exactly how to set up vouchers on Amazon so that when the customer does go to your listing, the discount appears right away. I'm there to answer any questions, so if any of this doesn't make sense, please join the Facebook group and feel free to ask any questions and I'll answer them right there. Finally, Amazon also gives a way to jumpstart the queue and appear at the top of the search results from day one using something called sponsored product advertising, or sometimes called pay-per-click, PPC advertising. This allows your product to show at the top of search results right from the outset. And this is how you set up a PPC campaign. Simply come into advertising, click create campaign, and begin to fill out the details. You're going to want to create a name for your campaign, and you're also going to want to choose your budget for the campaign. You can start with as little as £5 or £10 or dollars per day. You can choose whatever fits with your marketing budget. You can choose automatic targeting, where Amazon will target keywords for you, or you can choose manual targeting, where you choose keywords yourself. PPC is an in-depth topic and it is something that will take a little bit of learning, but to get started and start making some sales right away, you can use an automatic targeting campaign, set a relatively low budget, and you've got some immediate visibility on the Amazon platform. So now you're equipped with some marketing strategies that most sellers don't even know exist, and you can use them to market your products, elevate your listings, and ride this growing Amazon wave. It shows no signs of slowing down. Amazon's revenue continues to grow at double-digit percentage rates, and in order to keep up with that growth, they need more and more third-party sellers just like me, and hopefully soon just like you. Well, hopefully by now you've seen that my approach to building a business by leveraging the power of Amazon is far more than just throwing a product up on Amazon. There's so much more to it. And in fact, going into 2020 and beyond, if you're going to build a business that's really going to free you up to live the life you dream of, you actually need to take a different approach to the masses. You actually need to think like a digital CEO. You need to build a business that works for you rather than the other way around.
You need to build a brand that you own that has real value, where you're no longer trading time for money. And so far in this training, you've learned how to select, you've learned how to source, and you've also learned how to sell. And now selling one product on Amazon is a great start, and Amazon is a great place to launch that first product. But there is so much more possibility. To take this business beyond just a single product side hustle into something that truly changes your life, you need to learn how to grow it and scale it. And just like any other business, this business has its intricacies and its challenges. And this is where most YouTube tutorials run dry, but don't worry, I've got you covered. In the final step of the Brand Builder Bootcamp, I'll show you how much profit you can expect to make in this business. I'll also show you the step-by-step path to scaling this business, including the systems, strategies, and structures that most people aren't even practicing, let alone teaching. You can watch the final part by clicking the second link in the description below, but here's a warning. Don't click this link if you're not serious about this. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't the next fad. This isn't a bandwagon to jump on. This is an opportunity to build a real business that frees you up from that grip that money so easily places on time. So if you want to learn how to scale this business, if you want to learn how to really make it a success, then join me in the final part in the second link in the description below. All right, I will see you soon.